The Duggar family is currently experiencing a devastating predicament. According to reports, Anna Duggar was taken to the hospital after becoming critically unwell due to an unexpected and serious illness. Josh Duggar, her husband, and Michelle Duggar, the Duggar matriarch, are all visibly shocked by the surprising development, and the whole family is struggling with doubt and anxiety. Insiders close to the family claim that Anna's health deteriorated suddenly. It was previously reported that she was exhibiting significant symptoms, being brought to the hospital, where medical professionals started providing intensive care right away. Fans who have followed Anna's path for years are frightened by the severity of the problem, even if the precise form of her disease has not been officially revealed. According to reports, Josh Duggar, who is incarcerated, was informed of Anna's health. According to sources, the news has saddened him because he can't be with her at this crucial moment. Michelle Duggar, meanwhile, has taken over as a cornerstone of strength, helping Anna and taking care of her 7 kids while the family deals with this medical crisis. According to family friends, Anna's siblings are supporting her emotionally and with prayers. The Duggar kids are also quite alarmed by the numerous letters that fans have posted requesting that they remember Anna. Since then, the entire Duggar community has been overwhelmed with well wishes and prayers on social media, demonstrating the profound effect of Anna's health concern. Longtime admirers have praised Anna's tenacity and silent strength, particularly in the face of her family's troubles and scandals. Many people are now saying how strongly they support her recovery as she battles for her health. Although the family has not provided any formal updates, supporters are still optimistic as doctors continue to keep a careful eye on Anna. This is not the first time the Duggar family has relied on their religion in trying circumstances. Fans and loved ones are eagerly awaiting good news as the crisis develops. Information and hoping Anna will survive. Joanna Duggar, star of Going On, talks candidly about her family's reality show. Fans have been watching Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar raise their 19 children for 4 years, and they are frequently in awe of the family's unusual dynamics. Joanna is clearing the air in her most recent Q&A, though, as some viewers are wondering if any of the show was staged. Whether the show is scripted is revealed by Counting On star Joanna Duggar. Joanna gave her fans a Q&A session on her Instagram last week, story in which she responded to speculation on the scripting of their reality program. One of her favorite things about her parents, according to the Counting On star, is that they led the same family life both on and off camera. Joanna then acknowledged that there is some scripted material in the show. The show's early filming was not prearranged. A fan got a response from Joanna. They would simply arrive and record anything we had scheduled for the day. But as it progressed, we had to be more inventive because it would have just repetitive, so that part was prearranged. As of right now, there is no information on whether Counting On and the Duggars will return anytime soon. TLC severed its relationship with the family after Josh Duggar was arrested in 2021. TLC told E! News in 2021 that it would not be producing any more seasons of Counting On the cable network, because it believes it is important to give the Duggar family the chance to deal with their circumstances in private. Joanna thought it was strange to be filmed every day. Filmed nearly every day when she was younger. The Counting On star acknowledged that she finds it strange to think about it now. "It's strange when I stop and think about it," Joanna said in her Instagram Q&A. "Most days I'm just doing my normal life and don't think about it. It almost seems like it was a whole other life." Joanna continues to update fans on social media even though the show is no longer airing. Counting On launched in 2015 as a spin-off of 19 Kids and Counting. Watch back for more Counting On news and update. See where Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar are now 10 years after 19 Kids and Counting ended. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar have experienced many highs and lows during their 41-year marriage, first becoming well-known when their TLC reality show debuted. Joanna is also recording podcast episodes with her sister Jinger Duggar, and chronicling her family's camping trips. In addition to their large family of 19 children, all of whom have names that begin with the letter J, Jim, Bob, and Michelle are also well known for their commitment to the Institute and fundamental life values. The Duggars' journey started with their July 21, 1984, wedding and the birth of their first child, Joshua Duggar, in 1988. Over the following few decades, they added 18 more children to their family, with the youngest being Josie Duggar. 19 Kids and Counting debuted in 2008. Jim Bob was also involved in his son's scandals in 2015, as police reports at the time showed that the father of 19 we had been aware of Josh's alleged molestation for months before seeking help in a court of law. 19 Kids and Counting concluded in 2015 amid allegations that their son Josh had molested several girls, including his sisters, but a spin-off Counting on ran from 2015 to 2021. Josh was arrested for receiving and possessing child pornography in 2022 and was sentenced to more than 12 years in prison. Statement made by Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar 12 years ago. Our family went through one of the most difficult times of our lives. Josh made some very bad mistakes when he was a young teenager, and we were shocked. We had tried to teach him right from wrong. The couple was never charged in the case. Now, 10 years after the cancellation of 19 children in total and 41 years into the Duggars' marriage, here is everything you need to know about Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's lives. In a 2020 episode of Counting On, the Duggars mentioned that although their children are permitted to leave the compound at the age of 18, many choose to stay for a variety of reasons. Michelle Duggar gave a home tour in May 2011 and discussed how the property grew over the years, stating that the house grew from 2 of 3 homes. The Duggars still reside in Arkansas, where they have lived for many years and where 19 children were included in the counting. It worked out perfectly. What are Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar doing for a living? After 19 Kids and Counting ended, Jim Bob and Michelle have been busy with a variety of endeavors. In 2021, Jim Bob, a former member of the Arkansas House of Representatives, announced his candidacy for the Arkansas State Senate, but his campaign was unsuccessful. Shortly after losing, the father of 19 wrote on Facebook, "Whoever wins the Republican, I will be praying for him to win the primary on February 8th, when he runs against a Democrat." Jim Bob has continued to be active in the real estate business, and he and Michelle are both licensed real estate agents. The Duggars have a history of buying, renovating, and selling properties for a profit, and in February 2020 they sold a house in Springdale, Arkansas for $1.38 million after buying it for just $230,000 in 2014. In January 2025, Jinger said, "The pair have written books and given numerous public speeches over the years sharing their experiences and insights on family life, faith, and personal growth." Jim Bob and Michelle are also still very involved with the industry. She said that her dad really taught us to have a hard work ethic because of the way he worked. He took on so many jobs. He tried to do everything. He worked in real estate, the car business, and the towing business. IBLP. Do Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar have relationships with their kids? Although Jim Bob and Michelle have relationships with most of their kids, there are a few notable exceptions. Their relationship with their daughter Jill and her husband Derek Dild is still strained, and Jill and Derek have been open about their separation, citing control issues and money problems as key reasons. Jill has revealed in interviews and her books that she had to go to therapy to cope with the emotional toll of her. Despite these tensions, Jim, Bob, and Michelle did attend the memorial service for Jill's stillborn daughter, Isla Marie, in April 2024. As seen in photos from the event, Jill and Derek seemed to spend time with her parents while celebrating Christmas in December 2020. In September 2023, Jill told Vanity Fair, "There's limited contact with my dad. We've had to draw some pretty strict boundaries just for our own health and well-being." While some of Jim Bob and Michelle's children have moved on from their traditional upbringings as well, Jill did give Jim Bob a rare shout-out on Instagram in honor of Father's Day 2025, writing that he kept things exciting and adventurous growing up. In her 2022 memoir, The Hope We Hold, daughter Jinger Duggar reflected on her journey away from some of the IBLP's teachings, expressing concern about how her, Jinger wrote in the book, "I felt emotional as I worried that my parents would think I didn't appreciate how I was raised." She also told People in January 2023 that fear was a big part of childhood, even though she wasn't their child. Jim Bob's niece Amy Duggar King, who is known as Cousin Amy on 19 Kids and Counting, doesn't have any contact with her. How many grandchildren do Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar have? It's no secret that the Duggars have a large and constantly growing family now, including at least 32 grandchildren. Josh, their eldest son, has 7 children with his wife Anna, and Amy has maintained a connection with some of her cousins despite being perceived as the family's rebel due to her more liberal lifestyle and views in the Shiny Happy People documentary. Mackenzie, Michael, Marcus, Meredith, Mason, Mariella, and Madison. Jill and her husband Derek have 3 sons, Israel, Samuel, and Frederick. Jessa Duggar and her husband Ben Seawald have 5 children. Jinger, who is currently in California, has 3 children with her husband Jeremy Voillo. Joanna Duggar has 3 children, Gideon, Evelyn, and Gunnar, with Austin Forsyth. Joseph Duggar and his wife Kendra Duggar have at least 4 children, and Josiah. John David Duggar and his wife Abby Duggar have 2 children named Grace and Charlie, while Duggar has 3 children named Bella and Ezra with his wife Lauren Duggar. Jita Duggar has 4 children with his wife Katie Nikatsu, and his twin Jeremiah has 3 children with his wife Hannah. Is Anna Duggar divorcing Josh Duggar? Where is their relationship now that he was arrested in 2021 on suspicion of receiving and possessing child sexual abuse materials? The former car salesman was sentenced in May 2022 after being found guilty on 1 charge, and is currently serving more than 12 years in prison. With Josh incarcerated at FCIC Gaville, more than 300 meters from Anna's home on the Duggar compound in Arkansas, people have been wondering if the couple will get divorced. Josh and Anna were married in September 2008 after meeting at a Christian homeschooling convention after a 2006 police report surfaced revealing that Josh was part of an investigation in connection with molestation allegations. Reality TV fans first met Anna when she appeared on 17 Kids and Counting. Josh had previously admitted to molesting several young girls, including sisters Jill Dill and Jessa Seawald, when he was between the ages of 12 and 15 years old. Doug G.A. was arrested on April 29, 2021 on 2 charges of receiving and possessing. Following a Homeland Security Investigations Fayetteville investigation that started in November 2019, Duggar entered a not guilty plea to the charges. A grand jury found him guilty on both counts of knowingly receiving and possessing child pornography in December 2021 after a trial that lasted a little over a week. In May 2022, he was sentenced to 151 months in federal prison, and on just 1 count of receiving child pornography, he received a sentence of a little over 12.5 years. Doug repeatedly downloaded and viewed images and videos showing the sexual abuse of children, including images of prepubescent children and depictions of sadistic abuse. In addition to his sentence, he was ordered to pay $50,000 in fines, register as a sex offender, and serve 20 years of supervised release. The press release also described the former TLC personality's actions to conceal the materials, such as setting up a password-protected partition on the hard drive of his desktop computer at his Springdale used car lot to circumvent the device's pornography detection software. The release proceeded, and over the course of 3 days in May 2019, Duggar repeatedly accessed the partition to download child sexual abuse content from the internet using the same password he used for other personal and family accounts. He downloaded the content from the dark web, and online file sharing software viewed it before deleting it from his computer. However, his legal team filed an appeal, which was denied in 2024. Are Josh and Anna Duggar divorcing as of April 2025? There are no rumors that Josh and Anna are divorcing in December 2024. She was seen in public for the first time since Josh's sentencing, and seemed to still be wearing her wedding ring. In my heart, I made a vow to God before Joshua for better or worse when I got married. Until death do we partner, she said on a 2015 episode of Jill and Jessa, Counting On. I pray that I would be an extension of everything. Joanna Duggar says she was in a fog for 6 months after her daughter's stillbirth. It was very difficult. In February of the following year, Anna broke her silence following Josh's conviction in December 2021 by sharing on her Instagram story that there is more to the story, along with a link that led followers to Josh's motion for a new trial. Anna has since deleted her Instagram account. During her appearance on the Jinger and Jeremy podcast, Joanna Duggar reflects on a challenging period of her life. When she talked to her siblings Jinger and Jessa Duggar about her 2019 miscarriage, she became emotional and began to cry. I guess looking back, I did have kind of a gut feeling that something may not be right, Joanna said, but she also said, I don't want to over-exaggerate. I don't want to read into things. I just remember feeling so numb leaving the. After that, Joanna and her husband Austin Forsythe had to give birth to their daughter Annabelle at 20 weeks, which was a very difficult journey. I'm grateful that I had someone who had gone through the entire delivery process before she did, and I had a great support system, but even with all of that, it was really tough. Joanna and Austin paid tribute to their late daughter with a funeral ceremony and a burial a few days after her daughter was born. It took longer to deal with the emotional and physical impact of Annabelle's death, Joanna said. You have to kind of move on and told me they're like, I went through a loss and it took me a long time, she said. You know, you recover physically, you stop bleeding. When I speak with other individuals, there is no time limit. Hey, it took me 6 months, Joanna said, explaining that she had shared it with them. For 6 months, I felt as though I was in a cloud. I thought I was in a daze. It's postpartum, you know. Joanna continued. There are going to be days where you can have joy, but the next day may be really hard and you're hit with that grief again. Your body's going through kind of a shock. And then that timeline is going to be different for people. She continued by speaking directly to other parents who experience loss, telling them to give themselves grace because it takes time to process something like that. Don't put yourself on this. I have to bounce back. No deadline has been established. Earlier this month, Happy Heavenly 6th birthday Annabelle Elise Forsythe July 1st, 2019 wrote Duggar, adding some photos may be disturbing to some. Joanna shared an emotional Instagram post on July 1st, 2019, wishing her daughter a happy heavenly birthday along with a series of photos taken during her pregnancy and in the hospital. One black and white photo showed Annabelle's feet, while another shot showed Duggar and her husband holding their daughter in the hospital along with a mirror selfie Joanna took during her pregnancy. The Counting On star also revealed that Annabelle weighed 4.80 and was 7 in long. Joanna and Austin are also parents to a son Gideon, who was born in February 2018, a daughter, Evelyn, who was born in August 2020, and a son Gunnar, who turned 2 in May. Anna Duggar and her children reappeared while Josh rots in prison. Even though many people in her position would prefer that Anna sightings remain rare, a recent family photo shows Anna and all 7 of her children. Fortunately, Josh is not visible in the new family photo, which features the long-suffering wife of disgraced former reality star Josh Duggar alongside the couple's 7 children. Josh is behind Anna, despite the fact that her entire life is still in limbo. The Kellers, like the Duggars, are sort of in a different world. As you can see in this Facebook photo, Anna was part of a celebration for sister-in-law Nuri Keller's birthday. Nuri is 26 years old, which is relatively young to be married for someone who probably doesn't remember 9/11, but the Kellers, like Anna's sister-in-law after marrying Nathan Keller, Anna's younger brother, are included in the family photo along with Anna and Josh's. Nathan and Nuri got married in July 2020, and Josh and Anna attended the wedding. Josh seated the reception, which was an unusual decision given that Homeland Security had raided Josh's home just months earlier. 11-year-old Marcus and 7-year-old Mason appear in the second row, each on one knee, bookending various relatives. 3-year-old Madison, 5-year-old Mariella, and 15-year-old Mackenzie were also present, and they were in the back row. Work looking for and locating the child sex abuse evidence that ultimately led Josh to be sent to prison where he belongs. Anna has decided to stay married to Josh because she was raised to feel that she has no other option. Despite her shameful devotion to her husband, she hasn't been in the public eye much. Not since he was sentenced to 12 years in prison in May 2022. Occasionally, such as in December when she went to her son's basketball game, someone will take a picture of her, but otherwise, it seems as though Joanna Duggar seems to criticize Mom Michelle for not successfully raising her 19 children after witnessing Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar raise 19 children on 19 children and counting on. It is unfortunate that Josh's family must endure the shame of his horrible crimes, but under the perverted ideology of the Duggar cult, his wife and kids are like extensions of him, and his wrongs become their burdens. Joy discussed her future family plans this week, and during an Instagram Q&A with fans, one of her followers asked her if she had any desire to have 19 kids like her parents did. Joy responded, "I want to be able to effectively manage my family." Now that we know Joanna Duggar won't be one of them, is it just us, Or did she just take a jab at her parents in her Instagram stories for having so many kids? And purposefully raise my children for Jesus. So, whatever that number is for us, perhaps 4 or 5. Given that Joy is already a mother to 3 children, Gideon, Evelyn and Gunnar. She will only have 1 or 2 more children before her family with husband Austin Forsythe is complete, which is a large family overall but not at all large in comparison to the environment she grew up in. Duggar critics seem to think this was a jab at Michelle, but Reddit critics aren't usually big. One commenter shared, "It's honestly remarkable to me that all of the older girls speak so highly of Michelle." Another said, "It must hit like a truck to see her own kids get to the age where they would have started having buddies in her childhood home." Supporters of the family's parenting choices, this time supporting Joy's decision to forego having children in her 20s, and no one seems too surprised she wouldn't want her children to have an upbringing like her own. Reminiscent of the time before the TLC money arrived, she said, 19 children for anyone is not healthy and does not benefit the family. Joy also talked about her decision to wear pants, saying, "It might sound crazy to some of you, but we did put a lot of prayer into our decision because I had never worn pants before my husband." Joy was asked by another follower how she made the decision to wear pants after she and her sister were raised to only wear dresses out of modesty. But genuinely, I think modesty is an issue of the heart. Joy isn't the only Duggar who has made remarks like this about the way she was raised. "And I were both taught that pants were immodest," she wrote, adding that she used the Bible to help make the decision. "My decision wasn't one of rebellion against the way I was raised. And I don't have any bitterness because I wore skirts my entire childhood. It never held me back from doing what I wanted to do." In her memoir, Counting the Cost, Joy's big sister Jill talked about looking back on her childhood as an adult who has left the family's very conservative religion, the Institute, and basic life principles. "Only now can I look back and see things clearly, like the way IBLP fostered a culture of manipulation and control." Joy's siblings have all chosen to raise their own children in a very different way from how their parents approached it. "Abuse the toll it took on my own mental health, or the fact that Pops ultimately prioritized the show before his kids," she wrote.